Hey all, in last week's video I said that I was going to talk about my hysteroscopy, but I think it would be a better idea if I talked about why I needed a hysteroscopy in the first place, which was because my Paragard IUD was actually stuck in my cervix. I just want to put out a disclaimer before I talk about it because my experience was not typical. However, it is not uncommon. Please, if you think that your Paragard IUD or your Mirena or your Skyla IUD is embedded into your uterus, please see a doctor. Do not attempt self-removal because you can hurt yourself. Don't do that. It's no secret that my desire to have a baby is sky high. Dennis and I are in a place in our lives where having a baby would be a very welcome thing. Babies are so precious, and I can honestly say that I would be so much more prepared this go around. So I called my OBGYN office on a Monday to schedule my appointment for my annual. I had planned to bring up the topic of IUD removal with my doctor during my appointment. They managed to squeeze me in that Friday, which was fantastic because I was expecting to wait weeks because my doctor's office tends to stay busy and booked. Fast forward to Friday and I was so nervous. I was nervous that my doctor was going to say no. I don't know why she would, but I did read stories online where doctors refuse to remove a patient's IUD. And I was nervous that she was going to make me wait until my period to remove my IUD, which that is what I was told when I originally made the appointment. After waiting for what felt like an eternity but was actually like 30 minutes, my doctor came into the exam room and asked how my summer was going and if I had any issues with my Paragard IUD. I told her straight up that I wanted the damn thing out. She asked if the reason why I wanted it out was because I had issues with it or if I wanted to conceive. I experienced none of the common problems that some people face with their Paragard IUD. After I told my doctor that I wanted to try to conceive, she was all for removing it. Thank God. She assured me that it would not hurt coming out as much as it did going in, which was great because I didn't experience any pain with insertion like some people face. They experience cramping and bloating and pain in their cervix. Didn't experience that. Thank God. I was so happy to get this barrier between me and my next baby out until I hear her say, I'm having difficulty getting it out. I was apparently her first and only patient where she could not remove the Paragard IUD. Great. Lovely. Of course this was happening to me. I didn't think my luck was that bad, but it is. Let me tell you, having her dig around in my cervix was almost unbearable. Actually, let me take that back. It was absolutely unbearable. I will even go as far as saying that it was the second worst pain in my entire life, with childbirth taking home the first place trophy. My doctor tells me to go to the subway room that is across from the ultrasound room. She said that my IUD might be embedded into my uterus. I psyched myself out before my appointment with horror stories like this. This is supposed to be a rare complication, but of course, it happens to me. Why add background music when you have people having a party in the backyard? I waited about 15 to 20 minutes before the sonographer took me into the ultrasound room. She had a little bit of difficulty finding my IUD, but she eventually did find it. My dogs are going crazy. She took a snapshot of my lovely right ovary, but had some difficulty finding my left ovary. If you watched my video about my PCOS, my polycystic ovarian syndrome diagnosis, then you know that my left ovary was the one that was giving the sonographer trouble back in April when I found out that I had PCOS. Anyways, she did find it, and then I thought, yay! I can get this damn thing out finally. Haha. So my doctor comes in with what looks like a tool belt full of instruments designed to make me suffer in agony. And looks were not deceiving. My doctor is as sweet as can be, but the amount of pain that she put me in that day made me want to punch her straight in the face and never see her again. I was in straight up tears over her trying to pull it out. It just would not budge. The strings broke off, but the IUD was just too attached to me to let go. I'm all for commitment, but not cleanliness. We were together for over 5 years, but it's time that we went our separate ways. My doctor then told me that I needed a hysteroscopy to remove my IUD. After my doctor left to let me get dressed, I broke down in tears. But the tears were not from pain. The tears were because I had to wait even longer to have this baby in my life. Thankfully, I will have pain management on my side during my hysteroscopy. My paperwork said general anesthesia in one spot and local in another, but my pain tolerance is like low. I will scream for general anesthesia. After I left the doctor's office to get into my car, I felt extremely sore. It was like I just had a baby, but I had nothing to show for it. Not even a T-shaped copper IUD in my hand. The pressure was not comfortable. My doctor did say that since my IUD was so low that it could possibly expel before my surgery. And I prayed that it did expel because I did not want surgery. But spoiler alert, I had the surgery. Even though I had no issues with the Paragard IUD other than it being embedded into my cervix, I will never, ever get it again. Thumbs up if you get that reference. Thank you so much for watching. If you had the Paragard IUD, leave a comment below with how long you had it in before you went to get it removed. Be sure to check out my previous video where I talked about my polycystic ovarian syndrome, blah blah blah. Check out my previous video where I talked about my polycystic ovarian syndrome diagnosis. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye! Hey y'all, in my video today, I am going to talk about my polycystic ovarian syndrome diagnosis, how I was diagnosed, and steps that I need to take going further so that I can hopefully conceive a baby.